We got love, we got peace, y'all. It is shouting down from above. We got joy, we got faith, we got freedom, yes we do. And I'm gonna use it, how about you? We got hope, oh, we got hope. We got love, yes we got love. We got peace, y'all. Oh, peace. It is shouting down from above. We got joy, oh, we got joy. We got faith, and we got the faith. We got freedom, yes we do. And I'm gonna use it, how about you?
Good afternoon. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? We're scripted.
For sure.
How are you doing, Chelsea?
Oh, I'm doing just peachy. How about you, Tyler?
I am doing great. We have not been able to record in forever.
No.
We've had softball games, baseball games, substitute jobs that drain the living joy from our life. No, they're not that bad. But yeah.
If you're a teacher watching this,
They know.
You didn't hear that.
They know. I've been over at the elementary a lot lately. Field trips going on, everything like that.
End of the school year.
Mm-hmm. Star testing. That's a different show, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we do. There's been a lot of Disney news, and every time we have message talking about, well, what are we going to record again? There's been even more news coming out.
Which is a good thing.
And yeah, I mean,
it's been a good thing so far.
It's been amazing.
Yes.
So we've got a lot we're going to cover today. And one thing I didn't mention earlier when we were talking before the show is I can't remember if we had recorded after the airlines ended their mask policies.
I don't think we did, but I think we talked about it amongst each other. So that's kind of where we get confused. We don't remember if we just spurted out news to each other because we're so excited, or if we've actually talked about it on the show. But
so if the big news, if you haven't already heard, which I'm sure you have, is I think pretty much every airline has dropped their mask policy. There was a court case. We're not going to get into details about all that stuff, but you don't have to wear a mask if you're going to Disney anymore.
yes, that's awesome.
Or if you're flying anywhere.
Yeah.
And we have a trip coming up later on, but so it's nice that we won't have to for that one. So we're excited for that. Excited that I know a few other people that are going to Disney at some point this summer. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, every mask policy in both Disney World and Disneyland are gone now.
Yep.
They got rid of the Skyliner one while we were there, and they have since removed the boats and the buses as well. So
that's amazing.
Unless you wanted to, you could make it all the way through a Disney trip and never once need to wear a mask. So that's helps out a lot. Mm-hmm. And so very, very cool things going on with that. And then we do have some other things. I think last time we recorded, we did have an opening date for Guardians, but no one had been on it. And since then, they have started having cast previews for Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind. And they've not been allowed to record anything, of course, you know, and they're having them skip straight through the queue. So they don't have any idea of, well, what's the purpose of this ride? Because usually, you get in there and there's, I mean, imagine just going straight to Tower of Terror elevator without watching the Rod Serling video explaining what happened. You'd be like, I don't get
Why
this.
am I in here? Right, exactly. Yep.
And so a lot of those details are saying, or they're missing, so they don't quite get it.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that it has some thrilling aspects to it, but could still really be considered as a family coaster.
Okay.
So that makes me think a lot more of Hagrid.
Okay.
On that. Probably more thrilling than, say,
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah, probably somewhere closer to Space Mountain mixed with Everest.
It's probably a little test tracky, maybe.
Yeah,
test
that'd be a good
tracky
one.
Everest.
About the same speed, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There's no inversions. I can't remember what the height requirement is, but just
I think it's like 42 or 46. It's somewhere in the 40s, I do believe.
okay. Well, if it's 42, that's not bad. I think Rock and Roller Coaster is like 48.
Yeah, Rock and Roller
46.
is 48, but that is the
Biggest one.
the
yeah.
cap of
Yeah.
Disney World.
You don't want your kid falling out when they go upside down.
No, not at all.
I assume you don't want that. I'm not going to speak for anyone. But the reviews have been like very positive. And I remember I messaged you because people were saying, hands down, the best ride. And this includes things like what's just come out recently, Ratatouille, and also Rise of the Resistance.
That's crazy to me.
And I've just been on Rise of the Resistance. And I'm thinking, how can anything be better than that?
A lot of people say that.
And I'm thinking, my devotion to Star Wars is going to be like, no, I'm not going to.
There's
I
no
can't
way.
ever say that.
There's no way.
Maybe I secretly think it, but I can't say it.
But you're a Marvel too. You're a Marvel guy.
Yeah, but regardless, the cast member previews, take it for what you will. It is people who work there and get paid by Disney.
True.
But usually they're pretty reliable with it. But in just 24 days, this ride opens to the public, and I think media previews are next week. And then you start having annual pass holder previews right after that. So we're going to start seeing some footage. And Disney Parks did put out like a 40-second video on YouTube, which shows about 6 seconds of the ride. And you can see them going backwards at one point. But it just looks amazing. So we'll have a lot more to talk about as we get along.
While Epcot is typically a slower park, expect some changes there with this ride coming out. This ride will be in Epcot if we didn't already give that to you.
Yeah. And this is where it is. It's just right over in that test track area. If you're an old school Disneyer, this is the old Horizons building. That got turned into Ellen's. I never went on the Ellen one, so I don't remember what it was called.
I didn't either.
So sorry, it's just not a statement. I don't remember if it was ever open when we were there. But that's where it is now, and Epcot has the benefit of being larger and having more area than a lot of parks. Because the World Showcase, I mean, it takes forever to walk around there. We went on the Skyliner that drops you off in France, and we tried to go from there to Norway to ride Frozen, and we're like out of breath by the time we get to Frozen because you got to walk so far, and this would be even further. So what I think this is really going to do for it is it's going to help spread the crowd out a little bit from Ratatouille and Frozen Ever After, which are the two newest rides currently at
And Frozen's
Epcot.
always still got such a long wait, and it's been there for since
2016?
Yeah, and it's still very popular. So
I mean, the same with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yep.
Been there since 2015 and everything. So yeah, we got lots of good stuff going on. We know this one is opening. One that we don't know when it's opening, though, is Tron.
this is a Magic Kingdom coaster, by the way.
And this is right next to Space Mountain. And you've heard-ish some news about Tron. Can you share any of that?
She didn't give me any official statement or anything on it, but I did kind of ask my travel agent, which I use all the time, and I highly recommend using a travel agent, even though it's fun to plan it, but I just think it's awesome. Anyway, besides the point, I asked her if she knew any news about Tron coming open, and she did say that we don't have an official date, but we are getting close to learning the official opening date. So that's exciting.
And Tron is the it's a clone of the Shanghai Disneyland ride, and so it's not an original attraction, but it's taking them longer to build this one ride than the Magic Kingdom got originally built in.
That's impressive.
And the picture that we have on here is from March 16th, where they had one of the canopies done, just the one right over here behind Chelsea.
Right.
And this one, no, that's the wrong way. There we go. This one right here. I'm still getting used to this new set.
The mirror, yeah.
The one right behind me, they still didn't have it completed, but in the last couple of weeks they've completed it. And the news isn't that there's a date. The news is that they've been doing full speed testing.
Mm-hmm.
They had been doing the pull-through testing. Have you ever wondered before, can I put my arms up on a roller coaster without losing a limb? I've wondered that, especially Space Mountain. Like,
oh yeah, you can't see what's going on. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like 5'9", and on Space Mountain I'm still like.
Do not have a good time. Do not raise your arms up because you will.
I will die.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, you won't.
But the pull through, they have like these huge like circular deals sticking out there, and it makes sure there's a certain clearance they have to have.
Right.
And they make sure that if someone was this tall with their arms straight out and they had a wingspan of this, would they be able to touch anything on there? And so they've been doing that, but they just started doing a full speed testing where if you're there, you could watch it going full speed through everything. And this is really fast, and it's one of the final steps, I believe, on roller coaster testing. So I would think shortly after maybe Guardians opens, we get a date for Tron.
I bet we do too.
I don't think they would want to rain on Guardians Parade.
No.
But I really believe that they're very close, and if I had to guess, I'd say probably November opening.
I bet we'll get to ride it. I hope.
I hope so too, but I'm just thinking, you got one opening late May. Are they going to open another new ride so high profile in a different park that close? And I hope. I'm going to pray for September. My guess, though, my gut just says November.
Oh, gosh. I hope it's September.
Just go back again in November. Your memory maker could still be working.
Yeah, right?
So that's some of the big news that we have over here. Also, when we went to Disney World, I didn't like how there weren't enough PhotoPass photographers.
Right.
Especially Red Carpet Dreams, where they had Sorcerer Mickey available to get pictures with. I knew I wouldn't be able to hug him, which you can now do.
Yay! That's
Since
so
April 18th, you've been able to go hug a character. Yep. And I let Disney know my frustration with not even having a photographer there, because they had Mickey's handler there. You know, the one to make sure Mickey doesn't get overheated while he's talking to guests and everything like that. They'll be like, hey, Mickey's gonna take a break for a minute. It's like, why not just have that person also be a photographer?
Right.
And so now, after I let Disney know that, after we got back, they decided, hey, we'll send some photographers in there to take your pictures at Red Carpet Dreams. And this is the mini part of it, where she's got her like movie premiere
her
dress
little Hollywood dress.
So they do now have photographers there. So it's they were willing to take one with our phone, but I like it in Memory Maker.
Yeah, if you're getting Memory Maker, you need to get the full experience on it. I agree.
So there's been a lot of changes with that. They have even moved around where some character meet and greets are. And with the return of the hugging characters and no more masks, we're almost back to everything being back as it was before, with the exception of one thing. You know what's not there yet?
Well, I have two that I'd like to point out, but Fast Pass and Park Hopper.
But for things directly changed because of COVID.
Oh, well.
I guess park hopping is still
Park-hopping, and my big thing is dining.
Yeah. But there is one more attraction that's still different. The Enchanted Tales with Belle is still not going.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that one is, that is where you go in with your kids, and it's a sit-down, small room, like maybe 30, 40 people in there, and they retell the story of Beauty and the Beast using your kids and a couple of adults to be like the knights or whatever.
The characters, some of the characters.
And so the first time we went, Gunner got to be the Beast.
Oh, how fun!
And didn't realize it till like it was happening. He's like, oh my goodness, he gets to dance with Belle. So like
Aw.
Belle's there in her yellow dress, and he's up there dancing with her. And I'm like,
Oh, cute.
it was really cool. But that one, because of COVID, has not been operating, and they've changed it to basically just another meet and greet location
Right.
with Belle, but not the entire. There's little props they hold, so I'm sure there's some worries about sanitation, but that's about the one thing that they don't have yet.
And no word on returning.
No word. They, I think Blog Mickey or WW Prep, or both of them maybe, had ran stories in the last week or two talking about it. And
Blog
so,
Mickey is getting a little touchy with their articles right now anyway.
if you want a good, unbiased zinger of Disney, go read Blog Mickey stuff about Genie Plus.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Our mostly useless day of Genie Plus at Hollywood Studios was one of their headlines. So
They're not wrong
they'll
on
tell
that
you.
one.
No.
They've been a little sensitive lately on what they keep putting up, but that one I'll stand behind them 100%.
And you know, we had the leaked Guardians of the Galaxy date by the new PR guy at Disney.
Yep.
I guess who's no longer the PR guy at Disney? He got either let go or voluntarily left
Yeah.
about a month after he leaked that date, which stinks because who's going to leak the opening for Tron now?
I know. They made a terrible mistake.
So, one of the big changes that's coming up to Disney is Magic Bands. And we love Magic Bands.
Yes.
You can use a watch or your phone for your tickets, but it's just, for us, it's so much easier to use a Magic Band. It's got your ticket, you scan it, it's got your Lightning Lane reservations. You can use it to pay for things if you have a card linked to it, and you can also use it to unlock your room door.
And you can load whatever gift card money you have onto it and use it for purchases like souvenirs.
Not a
and
gift
food.
card.
Oh.
You can use your credit card. I checked.
Oh,
when we were
really?
there. You can't
Oh, I
link.
thought we used to do that for some reason.
I thought so too, so I think they must have changed it, but we were not able to link a gift card to it
Oh,
anymore.
okay. Well, never mind that.
But you can have it linked to, your other card. They'll take your money.
Right.
In any way
Obviously.
it's easier for them to take your money, they'll do it. But they have a new Magic Band coming out that was announced back in October last year, I think. Because I remember one of the teachers at school was fixing to go to Disney and thought, oh, this will be cool. And they said early 2022. And so we thought, okay, when we go there for spring break, we'll be able to do it. And no, they still didn't have it up available yet. And they have finally announced that the new Magic Band Plus is coming in June. And they were forced to announce it. It's kind of funny here. We're talking about
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was something of importance.
that is making sure that WDW Magic knows we have used it. We had Jeff Morels, who had leaked the Guardians date, and then they announced this in June due to someone else had leaked the Magic Band Pluses, and that was Disney Springs merchandise.
I mean, if I worked for Disney, I think I would be leaking information all over the place. I just couldn't help myself.
Like, hey, someone call me. I want to talk.
Yeah, somebody please call me. I got a plethora of good info.
I'd be horrible. I'd be the one to be like, you want to know when Johnny Depp's going to actually be in Pirates of the Caribbean? It's going to be the 3 o'clock
too.
hour on this date. Come over here and get your pictures with him.
Me too.
He's
Hire us.
Anyways, they started selling the Magic Band Pluses at Disney Springs in the last week for $29.99.
Okay, I gotta ask, what is the difference in Magic Band Plus than Magic Band?
Magic Band Plus will do everything that the normal Magic Band does, plus at the end of the name.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
plus. It
Okay.
does more. It's this, in the words of Spinal Tap, this goes to 11. It lights up,
Oh,
and
fancy.
it lights up and it vibrates. And you may be thinking, who cares? And several of you'd probably be right too.
Why does it vibrate? Vibrate for what?
They have Harry Potter areas of Universal have like the wands where you
Right.
can do this.
Where you
and
can interact.
they're going to have interactive areas in certain parts of the park.
Okay.
So they've started installing these in Galaxy's Edge,
Mm-hmm.
where you'll be able to do some kind of a gesture, and it'll light up or vibrate. And they've been really kind of hush on the details for what will happen with it,
Okay.
other than it'll be customizable, it's gesture based, it will light up. But the really kind of neat thing is when you are watching Harmonious or Enchantment, it will light up and vibrate in sync with the fireworks show.
That'll either be cool or drive you nuts. One
Yeah.
of the two.
But if you're way back and all of a sudden you start seeing everyone's wrists start glowing,
That's a little irritating.
But I mean, it's different, and it's
Mhm.
definitely was done for the 50th anniversary, so it's a different style. It lights up. It does more than the other ones did.
We definitely came a long way with those, considering that Magic Band used to be included with your ticket price.
Yeah.
More or less free, or $10, considering this one's $30
Now
to vibrate and light up.
that is the like official retail price. They did
Okay.
say on Disney Parks website that they will have pre-arrival resort discount prices. So I think it's going to be similar to the normal Magic Bands, because those are usually around $30 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it looks like you'll be able to purchase at a discount of some amount on there. So
Okay.
now what I want to do, while we're still talking about Magic Bands,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever looked through Etsy at Disney Park stuff? Like, have you ever gone down that
Yes,
rabbit
I
hole?
have a little bit. The little painted
You can.
wristbands.
They have a lot of different things. Like you can get custom ears
Yes.
on Etsy. You can get custom Magic Bands.
T-shirts.
Yeah, I mean,
All kinds.
a lot of things. But every town has someone that does shirts. So find someone local that you could support with doing your shirts
For
if you're
sure.
going to do that. If not, then Etsy's a good choice. But they even have the Mickey base stands that you
Oh.
can get on Etsy,
Oh,
where it looks like when you go into the park, you have these little poles with a silver round globe at the top with Mickey
those are
face
like
on
the
it.
ding.
And so
the-
you hold your
Oh,
Magic Band
cool.
and it lights up green. Well, normally it lights up blue because for some reason it no longer recognizes your fingerprint, and you have to have someone come over, take a picture of you, and then you do it
yeah,
again,
yeah.
then it lights up green.
Yep.
And
And then the magic little jingle. What is it? Dee-doo-ding.
yeah,
how's it
that
go?
makes it think like an old Nokia phone.
Yeah. Anyway, it's the happiest sound in the world, I
Mhm.
think.
While it works, and if it otherwise you dunk.
Yeah, that's the worst sound in the world. It kind of makes your eyebrows just immediately.
By the way,
What?
while we're talking about the sad dunk sounds, because we heard that a lot there, make sure you have park reservations set up when you go. Because we saw people who did not make a park reservation.
Oh,
They had bought
and that's all they
tickets
heard
and
all
they
day
got
long.
there and they were not allowed entry into the park because there was no availability
Aw.
and they didn't make any park reservations. So, public service announcement: make that or you'll be hearing dunk over and over, and probably crying kids or adults. I'd cry if it
I
was
would
me.
cry, absolutely.
But they have these on Etsy where you can like get them for your home, and they'll work. You can have it set up with your Magic Bands. Like you could set it outside the door to your room, and before you go in,
Now,
pretend you're at
I'd
Disney.
spend money on that. That's pretty cool.
I've really been thinking maybe Father's Day gift here.
Candace.
But since the Magic Bands, they use what's called NFC, which is a near field communicator.
Okay.
And it's the same thing that's in your phones for like Apple Pay,
Mhm.
unlocking doors, different things like that. And because of that, you can actually program one of these from Etsy to automate your smart home.
Oh, cool.
So you could put your Magic Band up to it, and when it activates it, have it turn on the lights, or
Wow, that's
maybe
cool.
unlock a door. I mean, how would you like to walk up to your house and to unlock the door, you have to scan your Magic Band?
That's pretty cool.
Candace right now is probably thinking, no,
Yeah.
we're not doing that. Well, just wait till you get home. Maybe it's already
Yeah.
done.
Oh.
So that's some of the news. Now, there are a few big things that you were waiting on. Not all of them have happened yet,
No.
but I'm going
We're
to let
checking them off.
you get this one fully.
Okay. This lovely picture is, you can kind of see the castle. Whoa. It's red and spooky and purple, and Mickey and Minnie are in their lovely orange Halloween attire, and that is because this is them at their Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. We will abbreviate and be calling that MNSSHP if we can even.
I don't know if it's
Get
that much
those.
shorter.
It's not, actually. We'll just go with Mickey's Not So Scary. This is a after-hours ticketed event, so there's only like a limited availability tickets. Excuse me. A limited amount of tickets that will be available for this. It's in certain days. I have posted the dates in another post on this page, our Magic to Our Years page, and it has like, when does it start? August,
Through
September.
October.
Yeah, August through October. There's select dates. But anyway, if you do have a ticket to this, it's going to range from $109 to $135 per person, and that is steep. I will say that. But you get like hours, like a special amount of hours just to be in Magic Kingdom. There's a special parade show that's called the Boo to You Parade, which is, I absolutely love it. You get to see a lot of characters that don't normally come out, and most of those are villains, which you will hardly ever see other than Halloween. You get special snacks, trick-or-treating. You get to trick-or-treat the whole park, and you can wear your costumes, which is super fun. There's ride overlays, which like the teacups, during the day they're all fun and ditzy and things like that, but during the Halloween party, they bring out a fog machine and put on some like green and orange and purple lights and kind of turn off the lights. And Space Mountain also gets one of those. I can't remember. There's a couple more.
I know. I think Disneyland had done a Haunted Mansion overlay.
They
Does Disney
did.
World do that?
They didn't. Haunted. I know. Haunted Mansion and Disneyland gets a Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, I believe, which is super cool. But anyway, it's super fun. You get lots of candy. You get your own special castle show, which is hosted by Jack Skellington.
And he's huge.
Yes.
Yeah, like
He's
9
awesome.
feet tall.
Yes,
I think.
he's
I mean,
really
it's
cool.
Crazy.
And meeting him and Sally, like they were one of my whole family's top character interactions. So I highly recommend that. You'll see him there, and that's the only time that he will ever be like in Disney World is during the Halloween party. And he's there at the Christmas party in his Christmas attire. So those are the only 2 times you'll ever get to see Jack and Sally if you're Jack and Sally fans. So, and the Headless Horseman at the parade, he's really, really cool. It's just really eerie because you don't hear a sound, and then you just hear this clop, 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 and then you see the Headless Horseman just kind of hold his pumpkin head, and he leads off the parade. It's super cool. Highly recommend. I'm so excited that it's back. Definitely check it out if you're going this summer.
And this is replacing what they did last year, which was the Boo Bash.
Yes.
Which I think got booed.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't offer as much as
And
the
it was
Halloween
more,
party.
too.
It was more. It was more expensive. You're right.
And the tickets now are more than they used to be the last time they had Not So Scary,
Yes.
but cheaper than what Boo Bash was.
Yep.
So that's how they get you, you know. They're gonna raise it way up and then bring it down, but it's still not as much.
Mhm.
Just think gas prices.
I forgot to mention, along with Jack Skellington, I know a lot of people are Hocus Pocus fans, and that's also who is co-hosting the Halloween party this year, are the Sanderson sisters. So they'll have their own stage show along with Jack.
And they have
at
a
the Halloween
sequel.
parties.
Is there a sequel coming out
They,
this year, or
I
is
think
that
they
23?
do. I can't remember the release date on it, but they do officially have Hocus Pocus 2 coming.
And now, one thing with these ticketed shows that we may have talked about before is for a lot of them, you don't also need a ticket to the park. Is that true of this one?
Right. So if you do have what happens for the Halloween party, say you're in Magic Kingdom that day of the Halloween party and you do have tickets, what will happen is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they will start kicking out everybody who does not hold a Halloween party ticket. And they have, and how they do that is they have these little setup stations with, you'll see the people coming out in their little Halloween uniform and attire, and you've got to check in. And everybody who's not checked in has to leave. If you're checked in and you do have a ticket, you obviously get a special wristband, and you get to stay in the park and enjoy the Halloween party while everybody else is dismissed, and they either have to go to the resort or to a different park if they have the park hopper option.
So it's a lot of money, but a lot of people I know will not get a ticket for that particular day. Like they will start off their trip with the not so scary Halloween party,
Mm-hmm.
so that their first day they can just get there around 2 or 4
Mhm.
usually. Get there around that time and get entry without ever buying an actual park ticket for that day.
Right.
Now, what I'm not for sure on how they do it, and I don't know if you know, how do they handle the park availability with it? Is it just simply because there's a limited number of tickets that you don't have to
I
worry
don't
about
know
park
on
availability?
I have no idea on that. Now that there's these reservation system going on, I'm not real sure how they're going to do all that. Just from the past that I do know, we were actually in Magic Kingdom that day of the Halloween party, and we stayed there all day, and around 4 o'clock when they started bringing up the little booths to check in, we just checked in and we kept enjoying until they officially started the party around like 6 o'clock.
So that'll be really neat. I'm looking forward to seeing all the pictures, especially Jack and Sally.
Oh, they're so cool. I love them.
I know you shared pictures of y'all at the last time y'all went, I
Mhm.
think. And so now that the girls are a little bit older, I bet they
Yeah.
really are enjoying this one.
Yes.
So that is pretty much most of the news that's been going out.
Mhm.
We really were hoping that we were going to have one more piece of news for you, because about a week ago, the My Disney Experience app had Park Hopper hours removed from it. As you know, since they've reopened the park, you can park hop, but not until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And about a week ago, I messaged you and said, it's gone. The
Mhm.
hours are no longer there. They haven't said anything yet. And then like 3 days later, they showed back up in the app, still saying 2
Yeah.
o'clock. So,
That was a big tease.
yeah.
It really was.
So I still cannot recommend park hopping as an option. It's overpriced for what you get currently. But maybe they just simply removed it too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, that's
Still hopeful that it will go away. But I mean, if you're interested in doing this Halloween party, and like I said, check the dates below that we have posted, you might look into Park Hopper if you're interested in doing this Halloween, or if you're not interested in doing this Halloween party. I'm sorry, because you will have to leave this park at a certain time, and you're either stuck going to your hotel or you can go somewhere else. So that would be justifiable in this case, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Unless you were like maybe starting your trip that day.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh, yeah.
fly in that morning and have some time to go to the resort would be a good way to handle it.
Definitely.
When are y'all going? Do you have your tickets yet?
Not
No,
for the
they-
Halloween party. You can't. They don't go on sale till May.
Okay. May. Well, we're
May.
in
Oh,
May.
May. Oh, well, later this month.
Okay. So
Yeah.
later this month, you'll be able to check with a travel agent. I want to say it's like May 18th.
I think that's what it
familiar.
is. Yeah.
That's like just a couple weeks away. So
Mhm.
we'll have a lot more details on how that goes later on. We'll get some more info in case you are planning on going. We'll try and find some of this out for you
Yeah.
before it begins. Now, they have had for our last topic. It's not news, but I've seen a lot of people, especially on Twitter, discuss this about the changes being made to the parks,
Mhm.
specifically with Epcot.
Okay.
Epcot, was this experimental prototype community of tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
And that's what it stood for. And it had this idea of Walt's vision of the future, like communities actually living there was what he wanted to. And they've taken a step towards that with these like story living communities that they're building,
Yep.
which that's a whole other episode talking
Yeah.
about that. But Epcot was always the weird park when I was little.
Mhm.
Like, I remember from my very early ages, I don't remember a lot, but since y'all know that I'm a chicken, at least was a chicken, I'm better now.
You're getting better.
I had like scary memories of rides. I was scared of Star Tours at Hollywood or MGM Studios at the time. But I remember being scared of Body Wars. Do you remember Body Wars?
I don't think I did that.
It was Star Tours, except for you got shrunk down and went inside a human body
Oh,
to
I
remove
do
the splinter.
remember that.
And they also had Hans and Franz out there to pump you up.
I don't think I remember that part.
Yeah, if you don't know much about the 80s, then Epcot would have just not been your thing. But they had the Body Wars. There was like this whole science type section. I remember they used to have virtual reality displays to do little games. They had the Horizons building. Living with the Land is still there, where
That's
you can
my
go
husband's
through.
favorite ride.
If you're interested in hydroponics, that is the ride for you. It's interesting. It's just...
If you need to take a break and some air conditioner,
It's
that's
like
the one.
It's like the carousel of progress of Epcot.
Yeah.
It's hot and I want a nap.
Yeah, exactly. A nap. That's it. That's the one.
But that's kind of how it was. You had the Journey into Imagination starring Figment, or whatever it was, where it was the dream.
That one's changed a couple times with Figment, hasn't it?
Yeah. Epcot was this different park. I remember being scared of the Maelstrom ride, which was the Norway ride that had like the witches on it and trolls that would send you backwards.
Oh, the Norwegian trolls. They still have them in the gift shop next to the Frozen ride.
Yeah, that's what that Frozen kept the exact same track layout, just changed it. It's like no longer nearly as scary as what it was.
Well, and I think they kept some of the animatronics from the original Trolls ride in the Frozen.
Really?
The penguins. The penguins.
Mm-hmm. Were they from the... I don't remember much of Maelstrom other than being scared.
They're from the original ride, and something else in there is too. I'll have to look it up.
But this was Epcot of old, and you see little pieces of it, like Spaceship Earth is still largely unchanged from what it was before. But a lot of it changed from the kind of educational, and now we have Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Ratatouille just opened. Frozen Ever After opened before that. We're about to have a walk-through Moana attraction at Epcot. And there are people, purists, I guess, out there who say, this is too much change for the park that used to be unique. Does everything have to have a movie tie-in? And so I've been seeing these debates on Twitter about whether or not this is a good thing that they've been doing it. And the other change is Disney used to be the whole dark ride, family-friendly type, not scary ride. If you wanted to be scared of a ride, you would go over next door to Universal and ride their thrill rides, while as Disney was very much the family-friendly, floating above on Peter Pan's spaceship, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, different things like that didn't have a thrill aspect. So how would you rate this transition? Are you happy with them adding more movie tie-ins? I mean, over at Disneyland, you have a whole Avengers campus.
Yeah, that's true.
And what do you think? Better
if you're
or worse?
asking me, I love it. I mean, I think more rides are better, no matter what they are. Honestly, I just am excited to try them all. So I like them. I like that they do offer a little bit more thrill rides, just because if you've never been to Disney and you do hop on their family rides, they are a little slower. While they're amazing and awesome, they're not for somebody who is an adrenaline junkie. And sometimes if you've got a dad or a mom that is an adrenaline junkie and they're just taking their kiddos to Disney because it's Disney, then, where are you getting your joy, So I feel like if you're going to be going, offer something for everybody. And just if your family doesn't want to hop on the thrill ride, then don't, Tyler.
Hey. Well, and I'm with you as well. More rides, the better.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially as the parks are more and more crowded, you need more rides to have
disperse
something
the
for people.
crowd.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I think. I think for some reason Disney has actually became more popular here in the past few years anyway. So I feel like more and more and more families are actually booking more trips to Disney World. So
But you do see this to where they're adding more thrill rides, and so I was just kind of curious as to... We have Universal over here on the left side behind Chelsea with one of their big thrill rides. That's me. I'd be like hiding behind the desk right now. I want to get on that. And then you have the probably most classic Disney attraction of Haunted Mansion, where it's scary to an extent, but it's just a nice slow pace. You don't get thrown around or go upside down. But we are seeing this transition where Disney is more willing to add rides like the Hulk over there. You've had it start with Rock and Roller Coaster, the first one to go upside down. You had it continue with Everest, adding a steeper drop and backward section.
Mm-hmm.
Even back in the early 90s with Splash Mountain being a very large log flume ride. And so you have this question come up of, is that make it better, or does that make it a little bit less family friendly? And I kind of like it this way. Tower of Terror, like you said, you have something for everybody.
Yeah.
If you have someone that says, I don't, because there used to be people say, I don't want to go to Disney because all their rides are boring.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's what I'm getting at. Because I mean, it is slow. It is slow if you're just going for your kiddos' enjoyment, and that's it. You know, you gotta be able to get excited at some point. If you don't, I'm sorry, if you don't watch Peter Pan, if you don't really understand the little kid movies, like the little kids that you're putting on the ride does, then you're just gonna be like, why am I here? Just.
If you want to see more, I mean, just search for Universal Studios Should E.T. Go? And you will find so many forums where people say this ride is so outdated, it needs to go. There is no thrill aspect to it. And none of these kids have even seen this before.
That's true. My kids love ET though. We make sure to get them watch it.
I just wanted to kind of end that off with our little, kind of our last topic of the day after we get through the news. I think it's fun to talk about this stuff because, I mean, there are so many more, they would call them IP, intellectual property tie-ins, where it's not just the original stuff anymore. It's all these things. But my thoughts and argument with that would be, at some point, wouldn't someone say that about Song of the South?
Yeah.
I mean, you had Song of the South and Peter Pan and Snow White's Scary Adventures and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Be like, all of those were videos at the time that they came out.
Yep.
They were all movies. So I wonder, why was there no outcry back then that, oh, you're just making things that come from your movies? Well, we own everything now at Disney. Not we. Wish I owned everything at Disney.
We wish.
But Disney owns all those things now, so why not put a ride like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I think that's exciting. Like, that is the only place I have a high interest in Disney movies. Disney movies are my favorite, so why wouldn't I want to get on a ride that represented the movie that I love so much? That's awesome. That's why I go to Disney. So, what do you guys think? I'm curious. Like, would you be more apt to booking a trip to Disney if there were more thrill rides, or are you just kind of like, those aren't for me, I'd rather just take my family and enjoy the slow rides? I'm curious to know what the general population would want to do.
I'd say we're probably split pretty evenly now.
Really? You think so? Huh. I don't know. I think more people are for the thrill, I feel like. I don't know.
You know, that's the reason we didn't take the kids to Universal until they got so much older.
That's exactly what we did too.
So.
Well, and their height requirements are just so much more. So it's like you're just going to be taking them to Dr. Seuss Landing, and then that's it. So, and Universal is really expensive. So
They both can be, but
yeah,
for sure. But that is all we have for today. We are going to, in the next, knock on wood, couple of weeks, there's going to be a special co-host on here to talk about food, because I'm lame and don't like to eat different kinds of food.
And I've been waiting to do this show for forever, so I'm super excited to do it. We get to talk about all the snacks, all the dining plans, all the meals, all the character meals, every kind of food you can imagine. It's going to be great.
Just don't do it right before you eat dinner or eat lunch, because then you're like starving by the time the show's over.
Don't you know that you're not supposed to go to the grocery store when you're hungry?
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
I come home so much, like, when are you ever going to eat at home?
You're not.
But that'll be coming up hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Candace will co-host with Chelsea, and they will talk about food, give you the best places to eat, the worst places to eat, the best things to eat, and how many miles you need to walk at the park to work out that stuff.
Yeah.
The answer is about 20.
That's right.
But we will have that on soon. Until then, we will see you next time.
Bye.